This is the last vampire film for a while, so enjoy.
Did you ever sneak into a movie that you weren't old enough to watch yet?
Wasn't it such a fun feeling? Like, yeah, you're breaking all the rules. This'll show the bullshit ratings board. I'm gonna see a film that has legally been deemed too much for my fragile youthful eyes. What a cool cat. The earliest film I remember sneaking into was Austin Powers and Goldmember, which was rated a 12, but I went to see with my family when I was 9. I still remember them drilling me on what to say if I was ever asked anything like, remember you were born on this year, stand up straight so you don't look younger, don't tell the man your real age, don't do it Sean, I swear to God, don't tell the man your real age. All just to see a movie at the cinema. It worked then, but sometimes it can backfire. I remember I took my brother to see Kick-Ass 2, and this complete job's work was on the door. He refused us entry even though my brother was 14 at the time, just a year too young, and I'd bought our tickets beforehand. The guy made a big scene about it, and then we had to go through this lengthy refund process in front of everyone because I said I wasn't seeing the movie if my brother couldn't, and then we just went home instead. Fucking douchebag.
What an asshole!
However, it didn't go wrong when I snuck in to see 30 Days of Night. I was 14 when it came out, but snuck in claiming I was really 15 because I was a young rebel against the system.
And god damn, this is a film that really pushed that 15 rating. I had no clue what the film was going to be before I went to see it, and by the end, I was seeing a guy get brutally decapitated in vivid detail. It was awesome. When it was released on home media, however, it would be reclassified as an 18. I always thought it was just an underrated vampire romp, but in the years past, I've learned there's a whole horde of people who really enjoy this film. It had been a while since I'd really watched it, and I think a part of that was because I didn't want to taint the magic of my memories if it wasn't what I remembered. But of course, for the sake of this show and just my curiosity, I fired it up again to see if it was just as enjoyable.
You got David Slade directing and Sam Raimi producing. What's not to like?
I also want to give a shout out to Ghost House Pictures for having the best production movie logo. Yeah, that gets you in the mood for a horror. The film is set in a small Alaskan town which is plunged into darkness for a month every year. However, this year, vampires just happen to be on the prowl. The film looks damn bonny. It's grimy and showcases the rustic appeal of the town while still looking excellent. Look at this opening shot of the ship looking in the distance. The tundra is one of my favourite looking settings, and here it shines bright like a diamond. Then when it gets dark, it still maintains that fine quality. Videophiles will understand what I mean when I say the Black Crush is pretty much perfect when watching this on Blu-ray. For me, it rivals something like Prometheus in image quality. There was only a couple of cases the transfer looked blurred.
The film also does a really underrated job at building atmosphere with its intense soundtrack.
The main guy is your classic everyman, but he's not flawless. Actually, he's a bit of a jerk, even when he means well. But he's the sheriff of a small town where everyone knows each other intimately, and it's hard to be the authority in a place like that. His romance with our lead woman is cute, if completely underdeveloped. They're an estranged husband and wife on the verge of divorce, and now we're stuck in this town together for 30 days after she misses the last flight out. You get to know quite a few people in this wee town, and they all have decent personalities, even if it is the bare minimum required for a character. There's just too many to flesh out entirely, so there's really only about 4 that stick out in your mind. There's also not that much conflict between them. Only once do they properly argue over the situation, and after that, the tension in the group is gone again. Look at something like The Thing and all the varied characters in that constantly play off one another. You don't get anything like that here, they're all just too bland and nice. However, saying that, I liked all the people, and I did want to see them survive the massacre.
You're alright!
Ben Foster plays a stranger to the town, and he's top notch as always. The way he talks in this pained Gollum kind of gargle is great.
You can feel it. That cold ain't the weather. That's death approaching.
Just as darkness is creeping into this small town, so too are the vampires.
It does a terrific job slowly easing them into the narrative, both through brief glimpses of them attacking people and with Ben Foster being their hype man.
These are some badass vampires. They're the best part of the film. They have jet black eyes, crazy rows of sharp teeth, long clawed hands. They're downright fearsome to look at. As the film goes on, while our main characters get more pale due to the cold, these guys stay the same ghostly white. That's a nice touch. We get to see the vampires work, ensuring the town is nigh defenseless before moving in for the big kill. These are an enemy that is both powerful and smart. They're like this crazy mix of rabid wild animal that can't be put down and a tactical army where their leader Daniel Houston seems like a mafia boss. Their leader commands a ton of presence whenever he's on screen and he takes no shit. I also love the way they talk in their own dialect and shrieks, giving them some depth as though they're some hidden sect that's been going on for thousands of years.
Dik, Jana, Chakara, Upir, Chakarako.
A highlight for me is the first big attack on the town. It's spectacular. It starts with a chilling image of the lead vampire playing a record through his own body before all hell breaks loose. Then, vampires are hopping off buildings, dragging people out of windows as they fight back the best they can. At times, it's even filmed like it was a real event from high above, like you're watching something akin to the LA riots. It all culminates in a brilliant shot of the high street swamped with blood as the chaos goes down below. After this, the film becomes a standoff over the 30 days, the survivors doing everything they can to reach daylight while the vampires try to hunt them down.
It all leads up to a thrilling climax that showcases the film's comic book origins that's bookended by a surprisingly bittersweet ending.
The movie is more of a dark action film for the majority. There's so many big set pieces such as vehicles crashing, fights going on, and there's just a ton of variety packed in. It's all really paced well too, and the film knows when to slow down and breathe after so much aggression. The major players don't just die, they go out in style, and there's a ton of crowd-pleasing kills throughout the movie. Humans and vampires alike are torn or blown apart in many creative ways. I remember my theatre letting out all kinds of shocked screams and disgusted laughs when it was playing. Also, I have to mention, there was a sequel, but I haven't seen it. It's meant to be nothing like this one, and it got terrible reviews, so yeah, I don't think I'm missing much. Should have been called 30 Days of Shite, am I right? While it's not as great as I remember it to be, what it lacks in good characters and story, it more than makes up for in vicious style and awesome bloody action.
30 Days of Night is a hugely entertaining ride, and while it isn't as good as I remember, I still highly recommend it to anyone looking for a fun way to kill an evening.